Hello to the fellas and the ladies. Last year's Oscars have come and gone. They're done. It's over. Congratulations, Oppenheimer. Now stop congratulating Oppenheimer. It's the past. It's over. Now we gotta talk about next year's Oscars because this is the life I've chosen for myself. Took a week off from recording shit. Now I'm, recording again. And I'm already ready for next year. I don't care. I know it's gonna be a few going like, well, you shouldn't be telling about awards this early. Why are you watching the video if that's what you feel, idiot? This is gonna be a long ass shoot, so I'm not gonna, waste too much time. There are just a couple I want to get out of the way, just in case you guys are going like, hey, where's this? Probably because they're next year. Something like Del Toro's Frankenstein movie, probably going to be next year. Jason Reitman's SNL movie with like Rachel Sennett and Gabrielle LaBelle, it's like possible it comes out this year, but it's shooting right now, so my guess is it's next year. Heat 2, that's next year. Baumbach's new movie with Clooney and Sandler, next year, but also like, I don't know, I'm feeling like it's going to come out like in the summer next year. A Complete Unknown, the Timothée Chalamet Bob Dylan biopic, like definitely happening, but next year. And also, what I have at number one, I don't actually think is going to win. I don't really have a winner right now because I don't know how that's going to work out. These are what I think are going to happen, like in the order that I think of likelihood are going to get nominated. Because at number one, I have Dune Part 2. Dune is just going to get nominated. No one disagrees with that. It's a foregone conclusion. It's out. It's making buckets. People agree it's better than the first one. Do I think it's gonna win as much as the first one did? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like certain things it had an advantage because there just wasn't as many like big like productions as when Dune came out. Like last year, I don't think Dune would have won production design. I don't think it would have won like score per se. Whereas this year, it might have an advantage, but there could be something that comes out that tops it. I do understand that theory that it could win Best Picture more than I actually buy it, if that makes sense. But whatever the case, Dune is going to get nominated for Best Picture. That's a guarantee. And no one's even denying that. Everyone knows this is true. Even the people who are like, you can't do Oscars this early, even they know it's happening for sure. I definitely question if, like, actors are going to get in, but it's going to get nominated for Best Picture without them. So coming in number two, I would say Blitz is number two. That feels the second most likely for a lot of people. If you don't know what it is, I guess I'll tell you what it is. It's based around like the bombings of the British capital in World War II. Steve McQueen directed it and wrote in it. Stars Saoirse Ronan, Harris Dickinson, some young folk that people like. Apple is distributing it, so that's probably gonna be Apple's number one contender. If the movie is really good, I don't really see a reason why it wouldn't happen. I mean, like, Widows, like, no one saw, and also it's, like, a thriller, which I guess they're more, like, behind now, but, like, back then, I guess not. But, like, at the same time, like, this is a war drama. Why wouldn't it get in? Unless it's, like, if it's not good, it's not going to get in. Like, I know there's some movies that can survive being mid. I don't think this is one of them. But I also don't really have much reason to think it won't be good, so there's that. I do have Sing Sing at number three. I have seen this one, and it is beautiful. It is a special movie. It's fantastic. A24 got it, and that's the best news it could have gotten. Colman Domingo's in it. It's a very powerful drama. Very hard not to get behind. It has like an ensemble of like real life prisoners, like real life former inmates of the Sing Sing Penitentiary. It just won the South by Southwest award. I think it was the audience award. I don't know how their awards work, but Sing Sing won, and it was such a hot button ticket at TIFF. Well, not hot button, but like it was very hot at TIFF. I remember I wasn't gonna see it at TIFF, but then I was like informed, like, oh wait, no, it's something special. So I went out and to see it, and yeah, I was blown the fuck away. I don't know if the win thing is actually gonna like morph. I don't know if I only think that that's possible because it's like one of the only two movies I've seen. And I love it. It's possible. It's definitely got like some real genuine heart attached to it, like just beyond being like so like dour in a way. Not dour. That was the wrong word, but like it's a very hard movie not to get behind it. Which is why unless it like somehow falls in between the cracks, which I don't see happening, I don't see how it misses. I don't think it's gonna be a pass left situation because there are two like performances that I would be really like struggling to see how they miss if this were to get in. Most being obviously Colman Domingo, who I do believe has a real shot at winning. And then there's Clarence Macklin, who I would be very surprised if he missed, like, if this got into picture. If this misses picture, then yeah, forget him. But, like, he's, like, amazing. It's a SAG ensemble potential written all over it. I really do think Sing Sing will be in that 10. Like, a part of me is tempted to put it number 2, but I'm not gonna do that. I got The Piano Lesson, the Netflix August Wilson adaptation, directed by Malcolm Washington, which is one of Denzel's son. Denzel's other son, John David Washington, is in the movie alongside Ray Fisher, Deadweiler, Corey Hawkins, and Sam Jackson. Based off an August Wilson play, another one of those that Netflix is doing. Ma Rainey didn't do well, but, Fences did. But at the same time, Ma Rainey probably was in that 10. It just, it missed. I'm a little interested in see what the vibe with this one is. I do think everyone is in agreement that Sam Jackson, this is going to be his time, finally going to be his moment to win, and we're all really excited about it. Problem is, The Piano Lesson is just going to be another chamber piece that just is nothing. I don't know, could it survive if it's mid? Maybe? I don't know, maybe? Also, Netflix is kind of scrapping for contenders this year. And yeah, granted, Netflix has recently said they're going to, pull back on their awards shit. But, if they have it, they might, that might be it. What are they going to do, not campaign Sam Jackson? Nah, I don't think so. I mean, that's another we'll see. I'm wondering if it's going to get a festival run. It has a Telluride premiere written all over it. So we'll find out what happens to that one. That's going to be my response for a lot of these. We'll see what happens. Because that's really the only, insight I have right now. I don't know. I don't know if Piano Lesson is good or not. What am I, Jesus? Maybe. I have The Apprentice. I don't want it either. Directed by Ali Abbasi. It's, about Donald Trump when he was a young boy, all that. This coming out in an election year where he's once again up for re-election is definitely tempting. This is one of those movies where I actually could see it surviving if it's not great. We know it's going to get acting nominations. Unless it's an abomination, it's going to get acting nominations. It's kind of a case study. We know the movie's not going to be, nice to the Donald. But, how humanized is this movie going to be towards him? I don't know. I'm genuinely curious what this movie's going to look like. I don't think it's going to be bad. But I also, I don't know. I do kind of question, will it get in if he wins re-election? I don't want to think about that, but if he does win, does it get in? It's genuinely hard to tell, but there are obviously green flags are obvious here. I think Sebastian Stan's just gonna get nominated. Maria Bakalova is gonna get nominated. Jeremy Strong's probably gonna get nominated again, unless the movie's hot garbage. Those three are probably gonna happen. And with that, do you not make that leap and say The Apprentice gets into the picture from there? I have Ella McKay. There is kind of a question mark if it's coming out this year, but I do think it is. I can see the TIFF premiere already, and it's going to blow the roof off of the place. I just know it. Written and directed by James L. Brooks, starring Emma Mackey, starring Woody Harrelson, Ayoade Barry, Kumail Nanjiani, Rebecca Hall, Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, the cast. It's a legal comedy drama movie. I feel like it's going to be a good crowd pleaser that audience is going to go, yay, for. I mean, not that James L. Brooks is an Academy darling, but, hey, why not? Let's get James L. Brooks a nomination. Why not? Why not? I don't know. Something about Ella McKay is so endearing to me. It's really sticking out to me. It could be mid, but I feel like it's going to be such a nice crowd pleaser that I feel like it's going to be hard to deny that. I mean, if it's not great, it's not going to happen. But, if it's, but I think it's going to be great. I have Queer. It's directed by Luca Guadagnino. Daniel Craig's in it. I don't know too much about it, but this doesn't sound like Bones and All. It doesn't sound like Suspiria. I think this is a Luca Guadagnino, drama. Like a LGBTQ drama. And if that's the case, why would it miss? I don't think we're dealing with another cannibal story. I don't think there's any horror elements here. It's just a very delicate drama that we're dealing with here. And if that's the case, why would it miss? But that sounds like an Oscar-y plot. I feel like if Luca Guadagnino wasn't the director, I feel like. But why would people be taking it more seriously? But why would Luca be a downside? Because I know Bones and All wasn't even close, but come on, this isn't Bones and All. It's so clear this isn't Bones and All. I'm sensing a Venice premiere. Maybe it could go the whole way to all 4 festivals. All 4 of the fall festivals. I see the vision. Megalopolis. Megalopolis is I feel like we all know what it is. It's written and directed by Francis Ford Coppola. He did the Godfather movies. Also did Jack with Robin Williams, and I would argue that's on par with the Godfathers. This has caught a lot of attention in the old medias because of the the scale and what Francis Ford Coppola has had to do to get this movie done. Question now becomes, is it even gonna be good? Because Francis Ford Coppola is very inconsistent. I know he's associated with 2 of the greatest movies in history. But let's also not forget what else he's made. The movie has a good cast attached to it. Adam Driver, Natalie Emmanuel, Forrest Whitaker, John Voight, Lawrence Fishburne, Aubrey Plaza, Jason Schwartzman, Shia LaBeouf. Chloe Fineman's in it. Wait, really? Giancarlo Esposito. Oh! It's being described as an epic science fiction drama. And again, if the movie's not good, forget about it. But if it is good, I think it's got to be one of the like big epics that get into the Oscars alongside Dune. I don't know. For some reason, my radar is a little off with Megalopolis. I feel like it's not going to be very good. I'm sensing a festival run. I'm sensing a Venice premiere. Maybe go to TIFF. But I don't know. Something's not sitting right with me with this one. And I don't know. I'm not loving the vibe. But it could happen. I mean, if it's really good, it's happening. Like, it's that simple. But if it's not very good, it's not happening. So, I'm going to take a gamble here and say Mother Mary. New film written and directed by David Lowery, which I know makes us go, Green Knight. And fair, just hear me out here. It stars Hunter Schafer, Michaela Cole, Anne Hathaway, distributed by A24. And the plot synopsis says, follows the relationship between a fictional musician and a famous fashion designer. That doesn't sound like the Green Knight. I feel like I'm doing the same thing I did with Queer, where I'm just kind of dispelling skepticism by pointing out that this film is not the director's previous film. And unlike Guadagnino, David Lowery's not an Academy darling. It's being described as an epic melodrama, and if it goes down like a very, experimental path that, like, the Green Knight and, like, a ghost story went down, then yeah, forget about it. I'm well aware of that. But I get the vibe that this could be a little more Old Man and the Gun, which I know also wasn't, like, an Academy favorite, but I feel like it's going to go down that kind of idea, and I don't know, something about it is really clicking with me as a possibility. I'm fully ready to be wrong about it, but I don't know, something sounds right. I'm fully ready to go down with the ship on this one. Rounding off the top 10, I have The End. I feel like a lot of us read Clayton's early list and saw The End and said, what the fuck is that? Who the fuck is Joshua Oppenheimer? Another Oppenheimer in the Oscar race? What? I looked into it a little bit, and he might be cooking. There's something about this movie that actually stuck with me. Tilda Swinton's in it, George McKay's in it, Moses Ingram's in it, Michael Shannon. It's described as a post-apocalyptic musical. A musical about a wealthy family who lives in an underground bunker 2 decades after the end of the world, which they directly contributed to. I feel like there's going to be some nuance there. There's going to be some politics about the wealthy people. That really, like, I saw that and I went, ooh, that looks actually intriguing. I feel like it's going to be different from everything else we're expecting. I'm expecting a fall festival run that actually, like, makes some noise. I mean, the cons are obvious. Who the fuck is Joshua Oppenheimer? It could be, like, not very good. Like, Joshua Oppenheimer is, like, a documentary filmmaker. He's been nominated for documentaries, and that doesn't always translate to a motion picture, but it feels like he, like, the first thing that comes to mind is the directors of, like, Free Solo directing Naiad. But this doesn't sound like Naiad. This feels like it's something really unique. And I feel like it's going to stick out amongst the crowd. And if it's really good, I don't know. I feel like you don't have to make that big of a leap. Right outside the 10 is Joker, folie et deux. Look, I don't love that this movie exists. However, something about it's, like, kind of intriguing. I don't think it's going to be great, which I don't think this one can survive. I know the first one wasn't great, but, like, I don't think that's as survivable anymore. The first one just, like, everything went in that movie's favor. Like, everything. Even the bad press for that movie seemed to have only benefited Joker. It was weird. It was, like, really weird. This time around, I don't know if, like, Joker fever is gonna be, like, intact. Like, I don't think it's gonna reach that level of, like, what a bizarre phenomenon that first movie was. That said, this movie is kind of, even though it was all red flags, I'm starting to get some green flags from it. We know it's gonna be different enough. Like, the musical aspects, I'm hearing it's, like, much more experimental than we think it is. I feel like the production value is going to be a lot more, like, I mean, the production value of the first one was amazing, but I feel like this one's going to be a little bit more, like, eye-catching. If it gets nominated, I don't know if Joaquin gets in again, like, probably he does, but we know Lady Gaga does. I really want to see it come out first. I want to see, like, I know it's going to do festivals. I want to see how that goes forward. If it's good, then I have no choice. But, like, is Joker fever going to happen again? I genuinely don't know the answer to that question.
Hey, it's me from the future. So, turns out what you just heard was a classic Caporusso lie. I've changed my mind. The more I think about it, the more Joker folie et deux makes sense. And I am going to actually swap it in and put it at number 10, putting The End at number 11. I'm kind of getting a little confident that it's going to be, like, actually pretty good. And if that happens, I feel like with, like, the Lady Gaga fans and the Joker guys, it's gonna make another billion. And I think we're just, like, on the cusp of another, like, maybe not as, like, bizarre, like another Joker phenomenon. Like I said, maybe this one makes a little bit more sense. I think the fact that it's gonna be so much different from the first one gives it an edge. So Yep, I'm putting it at number 10. Joker Folie deux is in my predictions for Best Picture next year.
The actor, directed by Duke Johnson, he directed Anomalies. So I feel like the actor could be a very out there kind of movie. Starts Andre Holland as an actor who like loses his memory and shit. I mean, that could be that could be an Andre Holland vehicle more than anything. But I feel like if that happens, I feel like that would lead to the actor possibly getting into picture. I feel like that could be a movie that goes to like a festival, maybe even Cannes, and then makes just buckets of noise. I don't know. That's definitely a we'll see. Same with Bird, the new Andrea Arnold movie. I know nothing about this movie other than Andrea Arnold's directing it, and Barry Keoghan and Franz Rogowski is is starring in it. I know who he is. I saw passages. I mean, who knows? This could be another Andrea Arnold movie, but like, hey, that, with not that much competition, maybe that could have been enough. Maybe she could have snuck into the Oscar race. The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat. I was like ready to put it in. Like, it actually looks like this could be a real winner. Not like Best Picture winner. I mean like a real win for Searchlight. But then it looks like it's going to Hulu. It looks like a Hulu movie, and it's got a good cast. Uzo Aduba, Anjanou Ellis. It's co-written by Gina Prince Bythewood, which isn't like a smoking gun, but like it's good. Maria, the next Pablo Larraín, women tragedy after Jackie and Spencer. I mean, I know you're all going like, no, Spencer and Jackie, weird. I mean, that's fair enough. That's just probably also going to be a little weird, but I don't know. Something about this one's sticking out to me a little more than the other two. Like, I don't think it's going to get in, per se, but, like, I do wonder if it's not going to be as, like, fucked up as the other two. Angelina Jolie is going to get nominated. That's a fact. Just deal with it now. And if she genuinely gets to the point where she could win, I think the movie just gets in. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, the red flags are obvious. I'm aware of them. The Nickel Boys, gonna premiere at TIFF. Just, telling you guys now. Book is a pretty tragic story. It's about, like, a reformed school in Florida where, like, mass graves were built and shit. I know Anjanou Ellis is in the movie. But honestly, other than that, I don't know. I feel like this could be, like, failed Oscar bait in a way. Maybe it'll be good. Like, if it's really good, I gotta really take it seriously. But I feel like if it goes south, it's just Oscar bait that the Academy could easily see through. Number 16 is Nosferatu. Now, I'm seeing a lot more people with confidence in this one. I believe in it. I do. But let's not forget what we're dealing with here. It's a Robert Eggers movie, who I love, but, like, it's Robert Eggers, and it's a horror movie. Like, come on, let's slow down here. The reason I do believe in it is, A, I do think, Robert Eggers, like, it's not going to be, like, a jump scare horror movie. We're not dealing with Megan. And I do think there's going to be a classic cinema thing attached to it. I do think there is going to be, like, crafts galore that, like, if it gets nominated, like, it's going to get a lot of crafts. Does it get anything above the line if nominated? I mean, maybe. I don't know, maybe. Here's my conditions with Nosferatu. Here's what I need to happen. If it skips all 4 film festivals, bye. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. If it skips Venice and TIFF, bye. It will not get in if it premieres at NIF or Telluride. It can go to them, but it can't premiere there. Venice and TIFF, it needs to go to. Not both. It can go to just one of them, but it needs to go to one of them and blow the fucking roof off of that festival. Then I will buy it. Sorry, I do buy it, but then I will put it in. For now, I think that we're just going to deal with another Robert Eggers horror movie, which I'm excited for, but we don't need to, apply Oscars to it. Or at least not now. If it, like, makes, like, the noise that Poor Things made, or, like, it was just so good that the weirdness was, like, we'll give it a pass, then I will, like, go with it. The Academy is evolving, but I do think there are some lines still. And I do wonder if Nosferatu is going to cross. Conclave, which I imagine most of you guys have higher, about a cardinal tasked with running the election of a new pope, finds himself at the center of a conspiracy, discovers a secret that could shake the very foundation of the church. That's the plot synopsis. It's directed by Edward Berger, written by Peter Stratton, stars Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, Isabella Rossellini, and it's distributed by Focus, which maybe you didn't notice, I didn't have a Focus movie in my top 10, which is concerning. And I was fully ready to put Conclave in. I did tell myself after All Quiet did what it did that I'm not going to predict Edward Berger's next movie. Because, he's not just an Oscar darling all of a sudden. But then I saw the plot synopsis, I saw the cast, and I said, oh, shit, that could be something. So I did put it in my 10. I did. And then I learned a little something about our dear writer here. Yes, he was nominated for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That is true. His recent filmography included Our Brand is Crisis, The Snowman, and The Goldfinch. And as soon as that happened, as soon as I found out about that, my head started to race a little bit. I can already see the TIFF premiere going sideways. I can already see the 40 Rotten Tomatoes score. I can already see people calling it shameless Oscar bait. I hear the book is, like, very, like, incredible. Like, if adapted, could be fantastic. But, like, is Edward Berger really that director? Like, I know All Quiet was amazing and well directed, but, like, it didn't do anything beyond very well craftedly adapt a great script. And I don't have confidence that Peter Stroughton wrote a great script. Of course I buy it, but that writer thing really turned my stomach. And I have Here. This is a new film by Robert Zemeckis, which is, like, typically a red flag. It's set to be a chamber piece. It's set in a single room over, like decades, I guess. Tom Hanks, Robin Wright, little Forrest Gump reunion. Paul Bettany, Kelly Riley. Maybe. If it's great, sure. But it's Zemeckis, and that plot synopsis is not giving me a lot of confidence. But what is giving me confidence, actually, is Eric Roth is co-writer, and that is tempting. But I feel like we're gonna deal with, like, sappy, like, Oscar bait here, and which for a lot of people that's a green flag, but not for me. I think sappy Oscar bait is easy to see through, and clearly with Zemeckis it's not worked out recently. So I'm gonna go ahead and say will not happen. Although I'm open to be wrong. Signs of Kindness, which I feel like a lot of people I feel like a lot of people have caught on that this probably won't be it. I know what Yorgos just did with Poor Things. I mean, don't get me wrong. And in theory, I'm stupid to underestimate it. However, I found out, like, I don't care that it's coming out in June. I don't care. Oppenheimer just won. I'm not on. And it has a good cast. Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Quali, Hong Chow, Joe Alwyn, Hunter Schafer's in it. Searchlight, like, it does not, like, I do not take lightly that my highest Searchlight film is number 19. That said, it's an anthology. Anthologies are just hard to, like, get behind, unfortunately. Doesn't help that Tony McNamara is not a writer on this one. Not that it's going to be good. I think I'm going to love this movie. But, anthologies just have a hard time getting in because it's hard to connect to those movies with, like, multiple stories. I mean, maybe Kind of Kindness still gets, like, some text. It's probably going to look great. But I feel like this is the, where Yorgos sits out this time around. Dee Dee premiered at Sundance. I haven't seen it, but I hear it's great. I mean, I hear it's really good, but it doesn't sound like it's that. Honestly, I feel like 20's too high. Furiosa. I mean, no one's more excited for Furiosa than me. No one is. Not a single soul. But I just don't think this movie's gonna, like, reach the highs of Fury Road. Like, I do think certain texts are, like, gimmies. Like, like, visual effects and sound and, like, production design and shit. And maybe it does, like, get in. Like, if it, like, pulls off, like, something huge, then yeah, I'll put it in. Fury Road is one of the most unconventional picture nominees in recent memory. It's also one of the biggest winners. Not a picture, but, like, in terms of a lot of wins below the line. But I don't think Furiosa is gonna go there. I don't think it's gonna be that. I feel like it's gonna be a Wakanda Forever thing, minus the acting nom. Adriano, I would love to see it, but probably not gonna happen. After that, I got A Long Day's Journey into Night. It's supposed to come out last year. It's based out of a play that apparently Jessica Lange is just gonna get nominated for. I feel like I believe in Lange, but I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna be her. I get the vibe that it's just Jessica Lange, and then the movie's just gonna not be that, but we will see. Gladiator 2, I feel like a lot of you guys have higher than me. No. I know Paul Mescal's in it. It's got a dope cast. I can't deny that. But, this is late stage Ridley Scott. He's been obscenely hit and miss. I was going to say hit or miss, but it's really just hit. It's really just mostly misses with, a couple hits here and there. I don't think this movie's going to be good. Sorry. I'll talk about text. If it's good, we'll have the conversation, but, like, I don't know, it's really going to be above Joker, and it's not going to be above Dune. We know that. Flint Strong. Initially, I was going to throw it out, but I didn't know Barry Jenkins wrote it. That's something I genuinely was like, oh, that's tempting. But it feels like a sports biopic, just happened to be written by an extremely talented man. Ryan Xavier Henry, Ryan Destiny, there's something there. But it's coming out in August, which doesn't, like, really matter, but it's not, like, great. A Real Pain. I haven't seen it. I know premiered at Sundance, still, like, raves. Really, the only thing that's, like, making me go ooh is I do think Searchlight's gonna run a campaign for it because they're gonna campaign Kieran Culkin, from what I hear. But it doesn't sound like the movie's really up to that level. Maybe it could just be a Kieran Culkin screenplay thing. But if picture's weak, why couldn't that be enough? We Live in Time. I know a lot of people are excited about it because Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield's in it, but it's directed by John Crowley. And he knows what he did. Goldfinch. Blech. A collaboration written by Anthony McCartan based on one of his plays, starring Paul Bettany and Jeremy Pope. It's very Two Popes-esque. This movie gives me more Two Popes vibes than, like, Bohemian Rhapsody and I Want to Dance with Somebody. So that gives me something of like, ooh, maybe Paul and Jeremy get in, maybe Anthony gets in for writing. I actually do really wonder about this movie, but I feel like it's going to be too slight to actually happen. Also, it doesn't have a distributor, so His Three Daughters I saw at TIFF. Very good movie, like fantastic film, but I don't know what Netflix is going to do with it. It's already had its festival run, unless it decides to go do an extra little stint at NIF and Telluride or something like that. I do think there's legit possibility for Natasha Lyonne to get in, maybe even a writing nom, but I'd be a little shocked if it went outside of those two, if I'm being honest. Juror number 2, new film by Clint Eastwood, stars Nicholas Hoult, Toni Collette, Zoe Deutsch, Leslie Bibb. The more I read this cast, the more I'm like, uh-oh. It's a courtroom drama. And the problem is with Clint Eastwood movies is they're all the same. I don't think this is going to be a thing at all. I feel like we're just dealing with another late stage Clint movie. Manuel, a lot of people told me to do this one. Neon is circling as U.S. distributor, so that's something. I know it's based off like an old movie. I haven't seen the old movie, but from what I tell, it's an erotic drama. Why the fuck would I put that in? It's got some people we know. Naomi Merlant. I can maybe take Naomi seriously, but everything else, I'm not really buying this. Honora, the new Sean Baker movie, stars Mikey Madison as a sex worker. It's probably gonna be like, and I feel like Sean Baker is gonna break through eventually, but this sounds like another like Red Rocket, less so the Florida Project, which I'm excited for. I loved Red Rocket and Florida Project for that matter, but I feel like this isn't gonna be when Sean Baker breaks through. It'll be eventually though, but I'm open to being wrong about that one. Maybe Mikey Madison can get into the conversation a little bit. Challengers, I know we're all really excited for that. This looks like Luca Guadagnino has queer already, so we can deal with that. Maybe I can talk about Zendaya in the acting conversation. I can maybe do that, but this looks like just like a a sex kind of movie that like is geared for like the Letterboxd crowd. So I'm really not looking at that with like much expectations. I'm really excited for the movie though, just not as an awards thing. Horizon, I don't really know how that's gonna work with the two-parter thing. I don't know, like does like 2 slots go to Horizon? Like if it gets like a tech category, does like both get it? Like both count as one, or do they get just like only part 1 gets in? I'm not really sure how that's gonna work. But honestly, I'm only mentioning it because I kind of have to. I don't think it's going to be a thing. I watched the trailer. It looks like a History Channel movie. Excited for that that it exists, but I'm not really sensing a big awards thing here. A Different Man premiered at Sundance. I heard it's great, but it doesn't look like A24. Like, well, is A24 really going to prioritize this? Maybe for makeup, but that's about it. Like, I'm not going to makeup to picture pipeline. Come on. Civil War premiered at South by to pretty mixed reviews. Some people call it a masterpiece. Some people fucking hate it. About what I expected. I mean, maybe not as much masterpiece claims as I thought, but I think Civil War is just going to be. I don't think it's going to be men that we're dealing with, but I also don't think it's going to be quite united enough. It's kind of giving me a little bit of Joker vibes, where the people who like it love it, but I don't think that's going to last the whole year. I think that's kind of a situation where releasing in April is a problem. Brutalist sounds like Oscar bait when visionary architect Laszlo Toth and his wife Erzsébet flee post-war Europe in Birth of Modern America. Their lives are changed forever by a mysterious and wealthy client. That just sounds like bland Oscar bait. Adrian Brody is in it. That's kind of good. Felicity Jones. That's interesting. I don't know. I'm not really. It just sounds like, again, Oscar bait. When the movie's made because it wants Oscars, Academy sees right through it. Bike Riders. I mean, it's been seen. It was delayed. It's just not gonna happen. I don't even know why I'm mentioning it. Honestly, everything else from here on out, I'm just no. I'll give it a shout out, but no. History of Sound, the director of Living, stars Josh O'Connor and Paul Mescal, being distributed by CAA Media Finance. I mean, could you get more dead on arrival than that? Oh, Canada, the new Paul Schrader movie with Richard Gere and Jacob Elordi. Paul Schrader makes movies for himself. He doesn't even have a distributor yet. I think it's done. Emilia Perez, I feel like it caught some noise because Selena Gomez and Zoe Saldana are in it. Like a Spanish musical. I mean, that's kind of fun, but I'm sensing no. If Twisters is off the charts good, then we can talk, but my guess is just going to be another blockbuster, a really good one, but not like that. Not we're not dealing with Top Gun Maverick here. The Amateur. Let me tell you the plot, and you tell me if this is getting in. An artist who pauses her career to be a stay-at-home mom. That's night, bitch. A CIA cryptographer who manages to blackmail his agency into training him to let him go after a group of terrorists who killed his wife in London. I can already see the 40 Rotten Tomatoes score. Night, bitch. Stars Amy Adams. and a lot of people are hopeful for that one. Written and directed by Mariel Heller, which is a green flag, I'll give it to you, but it looks like it's going to be a Hulu release, and the plot of a woman slowly morphing into a fucking dog, you know, there's a limit. And then Wicked, I'm only putting in there because some people were like, you gotta put Wicked in there. I saw the trailer, it looks like a joke. Alright, that is the predictions for Best Picture. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. I intend on doing acting and maybe screenplay and director later. I don't know when, but eventually. But yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna take me to edit, so for all we know, one of these choices is gonna look dog shit. And quite frankly, I think I got everything right. I think I nailed it. So I guess we'll find out when, you know, in a year. May I remind you, I'm filming this before, like, the Cannes announcement, so maybe the Cannes announcement comes out and, you know, maybe I switch some stuff around. Who knows? But until then, like, subscribe, and share. And what do you predict I'm going to look like in a year from now? You think I'm going to look, like, uglier? Hope not. That would suck.